What is up, Double Club members? It's your boy Johnny, and today I'm going to be telling you the FPS boost settings that you need to use in order to increase performance in Apex Legends Season 8. And yes, this works on any computer, whether you're on a low-end PC, a mid-range PC, or a high-spec PC, this will work for all of them. But before we get into it, guys, if you are brand new around here and you enjoy Apex Legends content such as this, and this video ends up being helpful to you, then please consider subscribing and don't forget to turn on post notifications. We are pushing for 2,000 subscribers before the end of May, so any help towards that would be gratefully appreciated. Also, this video topic is something I've never done before and I've only recently learned, so if you guys do enjoy it, then please let me know in the comment section down below and I'll make more content like this for you guys. And yeah, with that being said, let's get right into it. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to remove unnecessary files or out-of-date files which will clog up your game and cause stuttering issues mid-game. So to do this, go to start and type in %users% and then press enter. Then select the folder you are logged into. For me, it's going to be this one. Scroll down to the Save Games folder, navigate to Respawn, Apex, and then Local. Before we go any further, if you have any custom keybinds and settings, then be sure to store a backup or note down the changes you have made to the default game to suit your needs. You could copy all of these files and then make a new folder onto your desktop or in a place that you can go back to later. Now you want to select all of them, right click and then click delete. Once deleted, go back to Steam or Origin, whichever platform you use to play Apex on, and then reboot the game. Then once the game's fully booted, you can exit the game as the most updated configs have now been generated for us. Now the main thing, shout out to Panjo for this. I'm going to leave a link to his channel down below. Copy and paste this line of command text into the advanced launch options on Steam or Origin before you press play on the game. I will leave this in the description down below so you don't have to copy it and it will save you a bunch of time. For Steam, you want to right click on Apex, click on Properties and then select General and then paste it into the launch option tabs down below. For Origin, you want to click on the settings icon and then the game properties and then head over to advanced launch options and paste it from there. This line of command is basically uncapping the FPS cap the game provides depending on your PC. However, if you would like to change this in the future, then do not change this line of command text. Instead, head over to your NVIDIA control panel or your AMD Radeon control panel and change it from there. Now you want to locate your r5apex.exe file, which will be for Steam in your Steam apps common folder. For Origin, this will be located in your Origin Games folder, located in your Program Files 86 folder on the hard drive that you installed the game on. Once you've found it, simply right click on it and then select Properties, head over to the Compatibility tab and then check the Disable Full Screen Optimizations. Then click on the High DPI settings and check the High DPI settings override and then press OK, then Apply and then OK. Now what this does is it actually injects Apex Legends with the basic optimizations for the game to run smoother and limits any issues happening mid-game. While we are in the folder, I've left a download link to the autoexec CFG file in the description down below. Simply download it and add it to your desktop. Then go to your CFG folder in the Apex Legends folder and drag and drop that autoexec file into that folder. And just to be safe as well, I'm going to be adding this to the client folder too, just to make sure that it's done correctly. Simply replace a file and there you go. We can now exit this as we won't have to touch this section ever again. Now in regards to performance, the easiest way to ensure you gain optimal performance from your operating system is to make sure all updates are done and you are running on the latest build of Windows 10. Type in the search bar, check for updates and make sure you install all updates that say install pending. Now you want to close that down and then go back to your search bar and type in game mode. Now you want to turn this on if you haven't done so already to get a little bit more performance, and also just make sure that the Xbox game bar section is also turned off, as this will be turned on by default. Next you want to head over to the search bar and type in graphics settings and look for something called HAG. Now if you don't have this, then that's completely fine. It just means that your hardware isn't compatible or your drivers or windows aren't updated. This is a very minimal thing to do that gives a little bit of extra optimization, so if you do have this set in, then be sure to turn it on. Scroll down to the graphics performance preference and then click on browse and look for that r5apex.exe file and press add. Then click on options and select the high performance option and then click on save. Next, we are going to be doing some simple maintenance, so all you need to do is click on the search bar and type in %temp% and then press enter. Then I want you to select all the folders and files and then click on delete. This just removes unnecessary files and folders to free up some storage space for the game to have more space. If you have any that come up with an error message or to stop you from actually deleting it, check this box here and then just click skip. Attempt to repeat this at least once a month just to ensure that you actually get great performance on your PC. Now, the GPU drivers, so make sure that you're running on your latest GPU drivers. I will leave a link down below for both AMD and the video website so you can auto check and see if you have the latest drivers enabled. Now for this scenario, I'm going to be using an NVIDIA graphics card, but processors should be basically the same for AMD users. Right click and select the NVIDIA control panel. Click on adjust image settings with preview, select the middle option here and then be sure to press apply. Then you want to head over to the 3D settings. Now there are a few settings that will be changed on this, so feel free to pause this video if you need to. For low latency, we're going to be turning this on. For power management mode, we're going to select prefer max performance. For OpenGL rendering GPU, we're going to set it to your GPU. So mine is a GTX 1660 Super, so I'm going to enable this one. Texture filtering, anti-scropic, we're going to put on. Texture quality, set to high performance. And once done, you just got to click apply. Next, you want to navigate to your program settings tab next on the drop down menu and select Apex Legends R5 apex.exe. Now if you don't have this, then be sure to click the add and locate it from there. Once done, scroll down to the max frame rate and turn it on and set the max frame rate to 190. Select OK, then apply, and we are now done on this part. Next, you want to go over to your search bar again and type in power options and press enter. Now click on additional power settings and select high performance. It should appear here by default, but if not, then click on the show additional plans and it should be there. Once selected, you can then exit out of this window. Next, you want to redo your config settings and set your keybinds again on Apex, so be sure to open up your Apex Legends again and redo all of your settings to your preference. Once done, then go over to your gameplay tab and switch off the usage sharing setting and turn on the performance display setting. Now for the video section as well, make sure you enable these settings. Be sure to pause the video again if you have to, but a few things I want to point out is that if you are struggling to go over 100 FPS or if you are going under 100 FPS, then be sure to set the adaptive resolution FPS target to 100. This will lower the quality of the game but assure you that you will get 100 FPS constantly. However, if you go over 100 FPS fairly easily, then I recommend not even using this setting and turning it off. As for texture streaming budget, you want to have this set to very low for very low end PCs, or for medium to mid range, you want to set these onto medium. Once all of those have been considered and you have copied those other details, simply press apply and then have a go on the firing range and see how it feels. If you're not happy with some of the settings, you can more than happily change that, but do take into consideration that any changes made to the video settings could change the FPS you receive from when you are playing. Next, you want to go back to your desktop and click on the search and type in percentage users percentage and then press enter once more. Go back into your users file, then save games, respawn, Apex, local, and then open the video config file. Now once you open it, you got to change it to the following lines of commands. For CL gib allow, you want to set to 0, CL particle fallback base set to 1, fallback multiplier, you want to set this to 1, ragdoll max count, you want to set to 0, self collision, you want to set to 1, force ciancio, you want to set to 0, matte picmip, you want to set to 4, particle CPU level, you want to set to 0, create model decals set to 0, R decals set to 0, R LOD switch scale set, you want to make sure you set that to 0. For very low end systems, I do recommend actually setting this to 0.4, so do take that into mind. Shadow enable, you want to set to 0, shadow depth min set to 0, depth up res factor, you want to also set to 0, max dynamic, you want to set to 0, SSAO enabled, you want to set to 0, and DVS enable, you want to set to 1. Now for the frame time min and max, you want to set the numbers to the desired FPS rate you are going for. So personally, I'm going to be going for 144 FPS or lower cap, so I'll be setting mine to 5800 minimum and 6800 maximum. This ensures that it will not go over 144 FPS in game. Now, if you have a lower NPC and you want to cap it at 100 FPS, then you want to set your min to 3100 and your max to 5100. If you do not want to do this option, you can change the DVS enable to 0 and it will not be actioned into the game. Volumetric lighting you want to set to 0, matte VSync mode set to 0, back buffer count set to 1, anti-aliasing mode you want to set to 0, CSM enabled set to 0, coverage set, you want to set that one to 0. Cascade resolution set to 128. Now for fade distance scale, you want to set this to 0.9 on a decent or high NPC, but if you have a lower NPC, I recommend setting it to 0.6 or 0.7. DVS super sample, you want to set to 0. And then once you've done all them guys, all you want to do is click file, save, and close that file down. Once closed, you want to right click on that file again and select properties and set it to a read only. This is going to stop the game from actually changing these config settings back to default and will force the lower settings for better FPS. Now, if you want to change any of the in-game settings regarding the video, you will have to turn off the read only mode on the video config settings before you do so. Once you are 100% happy, then you want to go back to the properties and set the file again back to read only, select apply and press OK. Then your final step is to hop on to Apex Legends once again and enjoy a more optimized and higher frame game of Apex. And just like that guys, that's going to be the end of today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy this. Sorry for this being a long one, but I just want to make sure I get into as much detail as possible. If I have missed out on anything, then be sure to tell me in the comment section down below and I'll be sure to correct it as soon as possible. And guys, if you are brand new around here and you enjoy Apex Legends content such as this, then be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to turn on post notifications, that way you never miss out on another video like this. And guys, my name's been Johnny, and if no one's already told you, have an amazing day. Take care and peace.